Hey there, it's Kathy Mazak. I am your very tired academic women's writing coach, but I wanted to come in here and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about writing pre-semester because I've been watching some posts. It's more than one person has posted that they're like, how do I prep for classes and still finish my summer writing projects? So I want to talk to that a little bit. And then I want to offer you an invitation to tomorrow's free webinar. So if you haven't heard about it yet, in the description of this video, there is a link to register for tomorrow's webinar, and I'm going to tell you about that in a second. So if you're watching me inside the I Should Be Writing Facebook group, I'm your hostess and founder of the group. I'm also a full professor and mom of 3, and I've been working for about 4 years creating programs for academic women to help them write and publish more. And those programs are courses. We're doing a really wonderful retreat next July 2020, and a program for pre-tenure women. So I've been talking to you all for a long time about different things that are holding you back from writing more. And this particular moment in the year has its own kind of set of challenges. So, it's August. A lot of us start our semesters in September or even late August. And we are looking out over the next few weeks and we're thinking, do we want to do course prep or do we want to finish those writing projects that I planned out in May that I was going to do? Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about that. So sometimes, or a lot of times, and you can comment, let me know what you think about this if you're one of these people. I definitely am. The excitement of a new thing can pull us away from just giving that last bit of energy to old projects or lingering projects. So the excitement of the new semester, the big hopes and dreams for teaching the class the best way you've ever done it. Maybe you have new preps and those are kind of pushing you to feel a little nervous and wanting to be like super prepared. You might be remembering the trauma of past semesters and how you felt around week 9, and you're thinking, okay, what can I get done now so that I don't feel like that this semester? And those are all things to motivate us to switch our focus from finishing our writing projects to prepping our teaching. And of course, we want to prep our teaching. Definitely prep your teaching. I'm not saying don't do that. But I also want to just call you out a little bit to maybe help you find that motivation to give your summer writing projects their last push. So, a few things I want you to think about. If you're like me, then your teaching prep will expand to the amount of time that you have to do it. So if you're like, well, I'm just going to start a little bit of teaching prep now, and I'm starting teaching in the first week of September, what will actually happen is that all your time between now and September will go to teaching prep. And that's because we can, again, like it's something new. It's a new project. It gets, a little bit of a different focus. We might have energy for new things. And we might kind of feel like, I'm getting ahead. And so I'm doing my future self a favor. I'm very pro doing your future self a favor. But here's the favor I want you to do for your future self. I want you to actually corral your teaching prep into a smaller amount of time than you are currently thinking. So right now, it's still early August. I actually think you should put 2 more weeks into your writing and start your teaching prep in 2 weeks. And here's the reason. Again, it's going to expand out into the amount of time that you let it. So it will suck up any last thoughts of getting some writing done before the semester is finished. And I really want you to think about what would it look like if instead of prioritizing your teaching right now, you prioritized your writing. And what would it look like if you were able to carry that centering and prioritization of your writing through the academic year, so that instead of feeling like a person who is pulled in many directions, which we are set up for, it's the nature of academia that we have all these different directions that we need to be, all these different types of activities and tasks that are part, of our academic job. What would it look like to put writing at the center of that? And here's why you should be starting to think about putting writing at the center. It's because, your writing is the only way, or writing and publishing is the way that you get a job. It's the way that you keep a job. It's the way that you get promoted. And when you are not getting enough writing done to get your publishing done, to get those things that you want from your career, then you are not doing yourself any favors. So if you think, I'm just going to prep more teaching so that I can get ahead during the semester and then I'll write during the semester, I want you to double think that, and I want you to start thinking, what I really need to do is put my focus on this last push of the summer of getting your writing out the door. Because I really want you to have the satisfaction and the joy of finishing the projects that you said you were going to finish. Now, if you've been with me since May, maybe you did my summer writing planning workshop, which was a free workshop I did at the beginning of May. And I asked everybody to half their goals. And so maybe you already halved your goals and you still aren't actually going to finish all the things. That's okay. That's really okay. But I want you to put some time and energy before you start prepping this semester into finishing up a last burst of writing. And you can do that in different ways. You can do that by planning a writing sprint for yourself. And for a writing sprint, if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that unless you're on a writing retreat, I don't think that you should even try to really write for more than 2 hours a day. I think 2 hours a day is a lot of writing. So can you spend 2 hours a day for the next 2 weeks focused on your writing and finishing those things, putting as much energy into your writing projects as you can before moving teaching prep to the top of your list? That is going to pay off for you in your career way more than the excessive teaching prep that you're about to do. So let me talk a little bit more about that. So when we corral our teaching prep, we all want to be good teachers. You don't need to keep updating your classes every semester. And in fact, what I recommend for people who are doing repeat classes, I recommend that if you're going to do updates to your syllabus, your curriculum, the main assignments that you give and stuff, the time to do that is actually right at the end of the semester when you're either taking a break from grading or you just turned in grades. That is the moment to analyze what to change. You have too much optimism right now in terms of what you're about to do in your semester. So what that ends up happening, and I'm just saying, I'm speaking from experience, right? What ends up happening is I'm going to do this amazing thing and this amazing thing and this amazing thing. And what you do is you end up loading onto yourself all of this stuff that's going to take more time. And again, we want to do fabulous teaching, but we don't want it to take up all of our time. We need to have time to write now and during the semester. So the more that you can smush in your teaching prep so to let room for your writing to happen, the better. And again, what I want you to do is in your mind, it's okay. I want you to say to yourself, it's okay to be a B+ teacher this year. And the reason that I say that is because Your B plus is probably a 99% actually, in terms of how, like how you might be rated as a teacher. So putting a huge amount of extra time into more prep is not going to make you, I mean, it's not going to like take you from being great to like super awesome. Like you're still going to be great with a limited amount of teaching prep. It's going to be fine. You're not going to have a job if you don't publish the things. So that's why I want you to corral in that teaching prep and publish the things. Now, there's going to be another moment in your career where it's going to be a great idea to spend a lot of time in teaching prep. When your focus for the year is developing a new curriculum or a year that you just decide, like, I want to be an awesome teacher this year. Like, I want to really rock in the classroom this year. When that is your year focus, then you can prioritize, and you should prioritize, teaching prep. But what I want you to know is that if you sit down and really take a few minutes and try to clear your head of the imminent things that are about to happen in your life, right? The semester starting, all of that. And just think, like, what do I really need this year to be about? And what do I need to accomplish this year and how does it fit into like this bigger trajectory of my career? Like, what needs to happen this year? Is this a year that I need to collect a lot of new data? Is this a year that I need to apply for a lot of grants because I'm going to run out of funding and I can't do my research without funding? Is this a year that you need to push a bunch of stuff that's been hanging out in your pipeline, that you need to push it out so that when you go up for tenure or when you go for full, you have those things out, already under review or published, right? So you can't do all of those things in the same year at the same amount of, commitment and importance to each thing. So like if you think of your energy and your ability to focus on projects as representing, if you think of each thing, you can't put your foot put your foot on the gas pedal all the way to the floor on every one of those things. You have to choose one. And so I want you to think about, is this going to be the year that I publish 3 articles? Or is this going to be the year that I'm a fantastic teacher? Or is this going to be the year that I write all the grants? But you can't do all 3 of those things at the same time. Or is this going to be the year that I participate in, proposing and getting approved a new PhD program? All of those things are not, you can't put 100% of energy into each of those things because you don't have, 500% energy. You only have 100%. So I want you to think about which one of those things is that this year going to be about. And if it's writing, then we need to corral the teaching prep. Okay? So I hope that helps a little bit. And I really hope that you understand that I'm not trying to tell you to be a bad teacher, because what I'm trying to tell you is that even if you don't do huge amounts of teaching prep, you're still going to be a really good teacher. Like, that's what I'm really trying to say, is that your half-assed teaching prep is more than good enough, and you are going to be awesome anyway. So we need to go ahead and accept some half-assed teaching prep so we can get our writing done and give ourselves one last push at the end of the semester. Now, if you are, I've been talking to you kind of as if you're pre-tenure. So I want to invite you, if you are pre-tenure, I want to invite you to a workshop that I'm giving tomorrow. It's a free workshop. It's at noon Eastern. And the workshop is called Write Your Way to Tenure: 5 Keys to Going Up for Tenure with Confidence. And in this workshop, I'm going to tell you 5 things that you should be focusing on in order to go up for tenure without burning out when you get there. So something that's really important to me is helping tenure track women who are, pre-tenure still and going up. Maybe they've had some reviews. Maybe they're right at the beginning of their career. Wherever you are on the tenure track, pre-tenure, I have 5 things for you to think about so that when you're going through that tenure planning process, instead of feeling like major amounts of stress and like you have to publish every single thing, and that you are like also a thing that really gets me is thinking that you can't say X, Y, or Z because you are pre-tenure, and so you got to keep your mouth shut and your head down. These are not ways to live your career. And so that's what I'm talking about tomorrow. Like I'm very, this workshop is really going to be about what kind of shifts do you need to make? What are 5 things you need to do in order to have a career experience pre-tenure that is going to make you want to still be a professor by the time you get tenure. So if you're interested in any of that, and let me give you a little, like the thing is called Write Your Way to Tenure. So writing is at the center of what I'm going to be talking about. And so you are definitely invited to come to this workshop. If you sign up, you will get a confirmation email. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to be sending the reminder email with the link to join. So sign up, you'll get a little thank you email, and then tomorrow I'll be sending the link to join. Now, if you can't come live at noon tomorrow, and that's okay, because I'll be sending out the replay for 3 days afterwards. So if you can't come live, don't worry. If you sign up, you'll get an email with the replay link. So it is now officially past my bedtime, which is why I'm talking much slower than I usually talk on these lives. I hope you're having a lovely evening, and I hope to see you tomorrow at the Write Your Way to Tenure workshop.